Es geht weiter mit Final Fantasy 16. Wir haben gerade ein riesiges Massaker oder die Überbleibsel eines riesigen Massakers an Trägern gesehen. Und jetzt versuchen wir das zu lösen. Wir werden wahrscheinlich mal mit unserer Mutter ein ernstes Wörtchen reden müssen. So, geht's mal direkt weiter. Hopsi. Und ich weiß, dass ich eben noch ein Item bekommen habe. Also ich glaube ein Rüst-Item. Aber blutige Haut. Hier sind ein paar Leute.
They tell us there's a curfew, but then refuse us passage back to our homes.
Oh, we won't survive another night.
How am I to sell my wares if they won't let us in?
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
Bin mal gespannt, wie so eine große Stadt bei dem aussieht. Wie kann man die nicht cool finden? Das sind riesige Dodos. So, da ist nix. Da ist jetzt auch kein Händler. Ja, da wäre einer, aber da will ich jetzt nicht hin. Ja, wir gehen weiter. Ich glaube, ich sollte den Vogel rufen.
Ready, go?
Was ist denn, wenn ich jetzt an Gegnern vorbeirenne? Ah.
You deserve a rest.
Attack! Get him! Sick him! Too slow.
Ah, nein, ich will was ganz anderes. Ich muss mich noch an Ramu gewöhnen. Weil ich mein schnelles Hin- und Herhüpfen nicht kann. Juhu! Und ich habe gesehen, dass da hinten noch welche sind. Schup, 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 schup.
Stay down!
Ja, so geht's auch recht zügig. So.
This one. Over here.
Ah, den kriegt man doch schnell kalt. So. Dass er danach immer so lange warten muss. Man kann jetzt nicht als schnelles Laufen benutzen. Port.
The Lazarus.
Sollte.
What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better.
Komme ich da nicht rein? Nee. Ach ja, stimmt, wir wollen mit unserem Onkel quatschen. So.
Get him!
Da haben wir. Jetzt haben wir ihn.
Over here! Over here!
Den haben wir auch erledigt. Was mir noch einfällt zu Final Fantasy 13, weil ich es immer noch im Chat lese, weil es ja nicht so viel Kommunikation zwischen uns herrscht, ist... ich habe mal auf dem Flohmarkt für günstig Geld irgendwie einen Fünfer die Komplettlösung von Final Fantasy 13 2 in Hardcover gefunden. Da war ich happy drüber. Ich glaube, ich habe ausgesorgt, wenn ich alle Reichszähne als Kette umbaue und dann verkaufe. Na, da werden wir wahrscheinlich per Boot dahin fahren.
Let us pass! My children are starving!
Have mercy.
Voice-rinsed dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep.
Better out there than in here.
Oh, good enough,
Fuck off. Hang you chinless bastards. Those crystals belong to us all. I said, where were you, filth? Back to your stalls. Cut you down where you stand.
Wäre für uns ein leichtes.
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in.
Wir nehmen das Boot.
I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. But Lazarus... We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
Zähe Flammen.
The
Ja,
good
los
news
geht's.
is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Okay, hier kommen wir ja wahrscheinlich nicht
Now
rein.
we know why the refugees didn't come here.
Keep looking then.
Jetzt.
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Okay. Ja, wir schauen uns mal hier um. Hier in der Nähe? Okay. Tü. Rika hört sich heute 3 Fragezeichen in einer Sternenwarte an. Und dann hat sie mir erzählt, dass wenn wir zur Gamescom bei ihren Eltern sind, wollen ihr Bruder und mich eigentlich am liebsten unbedingt auf ein Konzert kriegen.
Oi! Visitors!
Ich frage warum, aber da keins herrscht, was mich interessieren würde, wenn überhaupt, oder Musik für mich ist, werden wir dann wohl Freilichtkino machen. Wird auf jeden Fall interessant. Haben wir ja schon mal gemacht, also beziehungsweise Autokino. Genau, wie gesagt, heute hört sie sich drei Fragezeichen an und morgen geht zu einem Silbermond-Konzert für sie. Autsch. Ich glaube, ich komme nicht drum herum. Ja, die Banditen waren ja jetzt nix. Ich habe rumgespielt, weil ich mich noch reinfinden wollte. So. Und ich dachte, Rika sitzt an einem PHP-Online-Kurs und lernt. Wobei, ich überlege gerade, das hatte ich auch mal für Rika überlegt. Es gibt doch dieses Spiel, mit dem du eigentlich Programmierlogik lernst.
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
Männlich.
We can speak inside.
Okay, keiner von denen ist tot. Das ist schon mal wichtig. Human Resource Machine, glaube ich, hieß das. Und da wird Rika Programmierlogik lernen.
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after.
Jupp.
Alas,
das wäre bestimmt sehr lustig, wenn sie dann irgendwann das verstehen muss.
Against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense,
aber sie hat ja Joshua geliebt und Joshua war auch ein Träger. Der war nur eine erweiterte Variante davon.
She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp.
They march in full force for Buick Bridge. Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call
Hast du jetzt
themselves
eigentlich
shields have
mitbekommen,
committed in
ob
my mother's name?
Jill und Clive zusammen sind?
It cannot be allowed to continue.
Sie hatten ja so 2 Momente und es sind mittlerweile 5 Jahre vergangen. Kann ja nicht sein, dass sie seitdem davor nur diese 2 Momente hatten und mehr nicht.
So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
Sie scheint ja auf jeden Fall sehr leidenschaftlich zu sein, was dieses Rosaria-Thema ist.
Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
So, Asche.
I suppose we owe you our thanks. You spared us when you could have just as easily sent us to the mud. We'll show them that the fire
Da kann ich einkaufen. Cool.
What is it you require?
Was hast du denn, was so Neues ist? Wüstenrose, okay. Ich nehme hier mal 2.
As you wish, my lord.
So. Aber du kannst mir das hier geben.
Of course, my lord.
Und das hier.
Will that be all? May the blessing of the crystals go with you. Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Hill have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Ach, der ist da. Ich habe die ganze Zeit überlegt, wer das sein kann, aber mir kommt gerade von dem anderen die Rüstung bekannt vor.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
Ist das der, den Joshua damals gerettet hat, oder der mit uns gekämpft hat? Der war ja mit uns auch gegen den Morboll.
And so we shall.
Ich habe wirklich die ganze Zeit überlegt, woher ich den kenne. Im Verlauf der Geschichte werden sich Clive verschiedene Gefährten anschließen, die ihn auf seinen Reisen begleiten. Je nachdem, was sein nächstes Ziel ist, können sie sich allerdings auch dazu entscheiden, im Versteck zu bleiben. Okay. Also, wo müssen wir jetzt hin? Wir sollen dahin. Okay.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Ah, okay, so kann ich bremsen. Okay. Lauf, 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 geschwind.
Look at me sideways.
Come along now.
The bastard.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
Ja, einfach drauf.
What is it now? I told you! We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame. Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! Forestaria!
Forestaria!
Shiva ist immer so kühl zurückhaltend.
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear. Get him.
So Sachen, wenn man Leute gegen die Wand ballert, wäre auch noch ganz schön. So ein extra Schaden.
Reinforcements from the far bank.
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
More dragons.
Works. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Okay, den einen scheinen wir zu haben. Den haben wir wohl auch. Oh, wieder ein Dragoon.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing. Over here! All yours, Torgal!
Na, verdammt.
So blade.
Found her. there's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You mean finish him?
This one.
Den krieg mal kalt. Na, kriegen wir den hin? Ja, ja. Schon haben wir ihn doch. Dragoon der ewigen Finsternis bezwungen. Und wir haben aufgelevelt. So. Unterwasserkettenglied. Ja, schon von Ausrüstung und Gegenständen verwendet. Okay, Drachenkralle. Yeah.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. My, Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it. As we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die. And her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
Ich wäre ja jetzt durchs Tor gegangen, aber okay. Die Flamme leuchtet hell.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience, especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it and those who love.
Achso, jetzt haben wir im nächsten Dorf wieder die Anleitung, dass alle mit uns reden. Bis jetzt hat sich das noch nicht so angefühlt, als wäre das notwendig. Immer. Klar, man hat ja bestimmte Dialoge, aber das ist ja auch mehr durch die Haupthandlung
I
entstanden.
don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything
Ich muss
you
gleich
need,
mal das eine Mischpult abziehen vom Strom.
Go on now, my lord.
Ich mache das jetzt während der Geschichte.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue.
Ja, das war doch abzusehen.
You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy
Oh, süß, der
charge
Tränen.
once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint of the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit.
Über sie reagiert keiner, obwohl sie alle kannten.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
a monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing.
Das ist wieder sehr angenehm gerade, weil es so euphorisch mal ein bisschen ist.
I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass.
Mir ist übrigens aufgefallen, Clive, wenn ihr euch das mal hier genau anguckt, ne? Der sieht aus wie Dracula aus Castlevania für die PlayStation 3 und die Xbox-Generation. Also Xbox 360-Generation.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. A before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Schöne Szene. Okay, so, warte. Dann würde ich sagen, in der nächsten Folge geht's weiter. Wir erklären den anderen, wie der Plan ist und wie wir es schaffen, nach Rosaria zu kommen. Ne? Aber das geht in der nächsten Folge weiter. Bis dann, auf Wiedersehen und ciao.